Pleasure.
Now, from AC/DC and Led Zeppelin to Bowie, Mercury, the photographer Denis O'Regan has spent his career capturing some of the world's biggest and best musicians on film.
Now he has released a stash of previously unseen...
And the man who took all those pictures, we're delighted to say, is here without his camera. Where's your camera?
Yeah, where is your camera? Over there.
Yeah. My phone. Denis O'Regan, but we've got some of your wonderful pictures behind us. When you look through your own, you see them in a little clip like that of some of your work. I mean, you must think, wow, where have I been?
I did that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great fun, obviously. Being on tour, I really enjoyed. It's another lifestyle. But also, it was getting... it started really when bands enforced a 3-song rule. So you could go in to shoot only the first 3 songs, which still applies to a lot of shows. And I decided I wanted to get more access. So I manoeuvred and manipulated everything around to going on tour.
How did you do that?
Well, whenever a door was slightly open, I'd put my foot in and say... I literally, for some of the biggest tours I went on, I said, I'll do that, or take me along. And they did. And then the longer I was there, the more it worked. And so
it's
it went
about trust, I guess.
It's a lot of it's about trust, yeah. Being around people who are doing whatever they do.
Because what we see in the photographs is we see people looking quite vulnerable at times, you know, big rock stars, but looking quite human.
Normal, yeah.
Normal, yeah.
Well, especially David Bowie, who
Yes.
wasn't what I expected when I first met him. I met him at rehearsals at the beginning of the tour. And I thought this enigma would be keep me very much at arm's length. And in fact, he just welcomed me in, and rather than keep me at arm's length, he was suggesting photographs constantly. Where's Denis? Do this, do that. Why isn't he here? Why can't he do this? How about this? So it turned into something completely different.
I think we've got some of your great pictures to look through. In fact, should we see if we were just talking there about David Bowie? I don't know whether we've got one of Bowie to start with, because these are people who were, you know, famously protective of their image and their reputation, and that here we have him.
Now, where's that taken?
In the desert outside Palm Springs. So generally during the tour, it's the photographs are in the plane, backstage, etc., at the venue. But here, we went from Europe to America, especially to do one show. And so there was a little bit of time off. We were staying in Palm Springs. So we had time to go out and do this. It's very unusual to get a picture like that on tour.
And some of these pictures have never been seen before.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Let's have another one then. Mr. Bowie
This is Mr. Bowie again. This, again, most of the photographs, apart from that last one, really, are unposed because it's just he's doing what he's doing. We're both travelling. He's on stage. This is backstage in Australia. And he was just taking in the last few rays of the sun. I mean, that's just what he was doing at that point. And then I will think, well, that looks like a good picture, and I will capture that moment. So it was nothing particular, a little like this one of David in the Singapore shopping mall, which was used a lot. It was being documented for a film, which the footage from that film was shown in a big film that just came out called Moon Age Daydream.
Freddie Mercury. What a shot
Definitive
that is.
Again, shooting from the stage gives you much more impact, and it puts him kind of where he should be. If it's just the band or the backdrop behind, it doesn't really work. So I go around to the other side and capture him and the people reacting to him, and I think that's a lot more of a... this is the opposite in a way, because I was in the front, but I turned round to face back the Freddie one at Wembley Stadium, and you can't see any of the crowd. This is obviously Keith Richards on the bus from the hotel to the airport the day after I had a bit of a contretemps with security.
Oh, really? Tell us more.
Well, it was a French security man. The stage is very high, and there's a platform just below the stage. And that's where I base myself, because it's very close to them. And I didn't see the security guy come along and just push me off. And then he came down to hit the ground and then went round behind and belted him. And then all the security guys in the pit laid into me, and Keith Richards came down to the front, took his guitar off and started swinging it at the security. And Mick Jagger was a bit further back on the stage and didn't know what was going on until our security said, get on the stage to get away from these people. Got on the stage and then walked up the stage past Mick with blood trickling from my mouth. You know?
No.
Yeah, he wasn't very impressed.
I love these pictures of the Stones. Are just fantastic, aren't they? And it's that contrast between the on-stage moments and then those backstage glimpses, those private moments.
Yeah.
There's some great ones of Jagger stretching.
Yes. Yes. Well, his father was a keep fit instructor, so Mick would go on walking holidays every year with his dad, and so he's trained.
I can't imagine. So Mick Jagger would go on walking holidays with his dad.
Yeah, every year, at least once a year, and then every single day, for decades, he's been trained. He has a trainer, and that trainer obviously went from doing it every day with him to going on tour and now doing it on Zoom.
There we go, Jagger's morning stretch.
With his
I think I've got those leggings.
Mick jacket. That's the stage in the background. This is Slane Castle in Ireland, and it's one of the most beautiful venues. And so this is part of his routine of stretching and becoming a bit more flexible before
And in this age where we see everybody do everything, how precious are these photos now?
Yeah, well, yes, as time moves on, as do some of those people. David's no longer around, which no one really expected because of his age. And you look back, I look back, and it's only now I partly realise how lucky I was to be on those tours and to have had that access. I did think at the time, it's sort of imposter syndrome, and I would think, well, if I'm here, you know, anyone could do this, because it wasn't that difficult to get from there A to B, or I might make it sound like that, but it was a real privilege, especially working with David, who I'd become a fan of very early on when I saw him as Ziggy Stardust and kind of named him as one of the people I wanted to tour with. And that's why, it was knowing what I wanted to do. So I wanted to tour with Queen, the Stones and Bowie, and I did.
Gosh.
So whenever the opportunities came up, then they're the opportunities that I took, because I knew what I wanted to do.
Manifesting it, it all came true.
Yeah.
Dennis, thank you so much for sharing those pictures with us. They are fantastic.
They
aren't
are
Pleasure.
gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
And
Lovely
if you
to
want
meet
to
you.
see more of them, Dennis's online exhibition is called 69 Days, and it's on until the end of this year.
We look quite cool with the crowds behind us
No,
there. Sam.
not ever.
Stay with us.
No.
Headlines coming up.